brother Vitos Cushionada from the channel Frost and Fist. And over on the far side is
Freakoliciousness here once again, together again.
In addition to the freak on the leash, we also have the man, the myth,
and
the legend, the man known as
Shroud, aka Will.
How long has it been since we had Shroud on the channel?
I'm always just posting Facebook stuff and taking live videos.
Man, we really appreciate you handling the Facebook page, though.
Awesome work, man. Definitely.
By the way, I just want to clear up, because sometimes we get down in the comments below when we talk about something you've done on the Facebook page. There's almost always somebody who mishears us, and instead of saying lore master, as in the master of our lore, story, and fluff, some people think we're calling you our Lord and Master.
That's no. Sometimes in dreams, but no, not actually.
So no new cults today?
I was thinking about
serving
it,
our
no.
Lord and Master, the Shroud. That sounds like some heretical bullshit.
Yeah, no, I serve the Emperor in all things. Let me just make that absolutely clear.
And we refer to him as our lore master because this guy knows almost every bit of fluff you could get your hands on. How many Black Library books have you read?
Oh, jeez.
That many?
Yeah, a lot, multiple times. You see, once I locked my wife down, I made sure that she couldn't get away. That's when I started reading, and it's been about 13 years now of reading Black Library. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So that means that he is a wealth of information, and especially what we're going to get into. You guys have already seen a lot of probably videos about the 8th edition that's about to come out. And one of the really cool things is that we wanted to, kind of share with you not just the factual parts of what we know that's coming out, but also kind of bounce around some opinion, some thoughts, and kind of thoughts on both sides of the aisle, right? And so that's what we're going to go. And so we're going to turn it over to Will, and he is just going to let you have it. Just let you have it. So we're going to start with that. Will, what do we have, my friend?
Sir, if you want to.
Actually, I got to give a shout out to my main man John from Tallahassee, who got a pretty concise Q&A for what Warhammer TV released. So salutations. But let's just get right into it. So rules changes really just reflect what they've done in Age of Sigmar for the most part so far. Movement is going to include running. Vehicles are not going to have a separate profile for taking damage anymore. This is the first stuff that was out of Adepticon that most people I think are familiar with at this point. Everybody's keeping their same play style. They're not squatting any factions out. Hopefully they'll add some squats. Let's not get into that. That's a whole thing. And I don't want to.
They did say that they're adding at least one race.
From what I've heard, and I can't confirm this, but I've heard Exodites, the Eldar hippies that decided instead of being nerds, they'd go live in, pristine maiden worlds that and ride dinosaurs. So get on the floor, everybody. Exodites might be coming.
On the other hand, though, the anniversary model this year is a white dwarf.
It is Grom Brundal himself.
In power armor, though.
Yes, in power armor.
Some people theorize that could be a hintful coming of the squat, although that might be more wishful thinking.
I can just say, speaking for myself, speaking for perhaps the squat community, this would be wonderful. You've seen a lot of squat positive stuff with the release of the Caradon Overlords for Age of Sigmar, which are all have a very squat feel to them with their advanced technology. You've got the White Dwarf in power armor, and from what I hear, they're going to once again mention the squat overworld in the core rulebook. As part of the map, we'll get to see where they were. I don't know if that means they're going to get any more notice than that, but to me it just shows, and I think we'll probably come back to this over the course of this video, how open GW's getting with their ideas now, and how inclusive they're getting with their history. I think that's just really cool. Coming out of the information coming out of Adepticon, what do you guys think about the basic stuff? everybody having the same profile, vehicles getting weaker as they take hits.
I'm really excited about that because sometimes if you have a beast on the table and it just runs amok. So sometimes when you have a beast on the table and it just runs amok all over the place, and sometimes it can be really powerless feeling like, man, no matter what I throw at that thing, it's just going to run around for the rest of the game.
Right. Right, and I think because I really didn't understand it at first, and I struggled with the thought, okay, wait a minute, you're going to give, 8 saves to a Terminator, It's like, how's that work? But not really understanding that as he gets more wounded, he starts depleting, and his abilities actually lessen as well. And same goes with every other type of model on the entire
Riptides, yep. Wraith Knights.
Which makes them not invincible, which I really like.
Although, if Riptides keep that 2-up save, it may be hard to get in there and make the recovery. I do like the fact that anything can hurt anything, though. Yeah. I mean, although I saw GW's statement, some people have been getting sour over the anything can kill anything prospect. Because you can get 50 guardsmen super cheap. But I like what GW's response to that. It's like, hey, if you want to take 50 guys and run them at a Land Raider, put a 0 at the end of that. You might stand a chance.
Yeah.
So it's not just going to be super overpowered, although could lead to a lot of blobs of little guys.
I think that's a big takeaway from what we've seen is that I think honestly Horde gunline armies are going to see resurgence. So high model counts, orcs, Tyranids, guard, not the guard we've seen in 7th edition, which with the heavy artillery pieces, the cannonade, stuff like that, but a return to big squads of infantry, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I really like high model count armies. I think they're cool, and I think that with the changes they've made, you're going to see some neat stuff out of them.
I'm excited. I may actually get to bring some Fenrisian Wolves again because, with the AP system that they have now, it's just I bring Fenrisian Wolves and just about every gun and every army can just, wipe out the whole squad in just the first turn. So I very seldom actually get them into combat or get them to do anything other than maybe camp an objective that I'm praying somebody's not looking at. And don't look over here.
Yeah. It really puts everybody in an even playing field, and I really like that. And I like the fact that you can actually have foot troops go after a tank.
Exactly.
It's never been done. I mean, but in lore, you've seen that. Yeah, it's like, they'll go up there and they'll start taking it down. They're whittling it. They might have some casualties, but they got it. They'll do whatever they take to take it down, right? So I see where GW is trying to bring back the universe as it is in reality. They're trying to bring it into the actual game and trying to get as close to it as possible. So.
I can't begin to count the number of times I'm rereading the Night Lords books by Aaron Dembski right now. Those are what motivated me to start my Night Lords army that Mythos has painted. These are fantastic books, and one of the pivotal scenes in the first one is a squad taking down a Warhound Titan, which again happens all the time in the books, but in the game can't happen.
7th edition, you'll never see that.
No, you might be able to take a void shield off of the Multiple.
No.
But you're not going to see like a squad under concerted effort, by the skin of their teeth, be able to take down a Warhound Titan. This might sound negative, I think, coming out, but GW, again, like you guys have said, GW has really stressed that this is having a squad match up against a Titan or a Land Raider or something like that. That's a very one-sided fight.
Right.
So.
Right. So, what can you tell us were the most impressionable changes that you've seen coming into the 8th edition?
Really, the biggest thing, actually, I know we might be skipping forward a little bit, but the biggest thing was announced today, which was the Psyker phase getting completely worked. No Psyker powers from 7th edition are going to be in 8th edition. There's still going to be Perils of the Warp, but it's going to function very similar to the spellcasting phase from Age of Sigmar, where you roll 2 dice and you're trying to beat a number, and you instead of rolling randomly for powers, you have a unit that's going to have a profile for the kind of powers he can take.
That's cool.
I think that's fantastic.
Although I have to say, I'm kicking myself a little bit because you're not really kicking myself, but it's just I just right before they announced, got my hand on some Space Wolf data cards with the actual Space Wolf spells, like right before.
And you know what? I'm sure you're not alone. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that actually went out. You know, especially those who just started out. Now, luckily, GW is going back and saying, "Hey, look, 8 weeks out. You know, if you guys have purchased stuff within 8 weeks, you know, they'll actually give you a voucher."
It's one of the boldest business moves I've ever seen.
Yeah, that is. It's really. I'm very impressed. I never expected that.
I just bought my son Trader Allegiance and threw away the receipt like the day before they announced it.
Oh no!
So guys, if you have stuff that you know that you just purchased and you can't use anymore, what 8th edition? Hey, go on their website and there's a link. Just follow their link and email them. They'll actually help you out with that.
Hang on to those receipts, guys.
Yeah, hey, don't toss your receipts. It's gold. Yeah, we're all stuck with ours. So.
What about you guys? What have you taken away from what they've announced at 8th edition so far? What's your walk away? This is what's selling me on the new system.
Right. Well, at first I wasn't thrilled, and let me tell you why. As a fairly new player, right? My biggest thing was, and I know some of you probably feel the same way, you shell out all this money, not only on models, because, you know, models.
The models you're going to still use.
Yeah, that's true. The models are good. They're not cheap, right? But then you've got all your rules and your codices, right? All your you know, and so you're spending all this money, and then, you know, you buy your templates. Those are going away. And so then I'm thinking, well, crap. All of our codexes, every codex that we have,
and those beautiful Space Wolf templates you got.
Completely.
My beautiful Night Lord templates are about to be retired.
Completely useless. It's all useless. Now the fluff is still there. You know, it's still valid.
But because that's a big question that came up is, are you going to reset the lore like with Age Sigmar?
Yeah.
That's also a misconception because they just moved the story along. They didn't reset the AOS story.
Exactly.
Well,
some of it got modified, right? But
you're talking to someone who I started playing Warhammer Fantasy before I played Warhammer.
Right.
And I got into Dwarves, and I was playing 8th edition, and they're like, 9th edition's coming out. I'm like, great, I love, just aside, I love the lore of Warhammer Fantasy just as much as I like the 40K. And when Age of Sigmar came out, all of my favorite characters were dead. Cetra the Imperishable, Gotrek and Felix. You know, the main people like Sigmar lived.
Because they advanced the story by like a couple hundred years, right?
Yeah, well, the old world was destroyed, completely destroyed. The metal core of it is actually what they used to make the Stormcast Eternals.
Okay.
Is the metal from the old world. And it's multi-dimensional now. The game's a lot more ethereal in nature. And I mean, it's I was negative about it at first, but I feel like it's got its own flavor to it. When you're into some of the factions that are coming out, the models are great, and it's its own thing, separate from fantasy, and I really like that. This isn't happening in 40K edition. The Eye is getting bigger. The Eye of Terror is, if you've seen the map, has completely opened up. Fenris's in trouble. The Tau Empire is beset by 2 Necron dynasties and Ultramar. I mean, it's
big.
It's a huge development in the lore for 40K, but nothing that is unprecedented.
I gotta tell you, my wolves are in trouble. Between Cadia and Wrath of Magnus, we're down to a third of our population, and we're right there at the where the Eye is expanded.
So going back to the original point, we all those books and all that money that you spent on material, right? It becomes obsolete. But on another note, those have been playing probably for several editions prior to that, right? Because there was very little change between several editions from 7th and prior. They haven't been as huge of a difference. Yeah, there have been some shakeups where they've revamped the codices. I get it, but
I would have loved to have played 4th edition or Assault Army.
Yeah. But now to get to the point to where these guys that have been playing for years and years and years become just in the same playing field as somebody who is just starting out right now. So I think in a way that's actually pretty good. But I'm sure those of you that have been playing a long time are not pretty happy about that.
I saw this beautiful, beautiful Star Wars meme earlier today with A New Hope, and Obi-Wan says, 8th edition. It feels like 100 voices of billions of voices of a billion power gamers suddenly cried out.
Yes. So if you're a power gamer, I guarantee you're like, no.
Yeah, I think it's a huge strike towards balance, which I think this game really needs.
I'm hoping for some balance. That brings me to what I'm taking away. The biggest thing from their first announcements is right after the initial at the con announcements, they did a Facebook Live, and during that Facebook Live, somebody asked and they addressed, will Malay-based armies be viable again?
Right.
Which is funny because I hear both sides. Okay, you can definitely tell who plays what army because I saw 2 sets of questions continuously being spammed. Mm-hmm. Will Malay-based armies be viable again? And can we get rid of the damn Death Stars? But I mean, one makes it sound like the Malay armies are being awesome, and one makes it sound like they're not being awesome.
I don't know. You know, it's funny. It's like it sounds to me like they're making them more viable.
They are,
and that's what they said. They addressed it. Those mofo's know that they had a problem with 7th edition. Let me tell you.
Yeah, they did.
They said, yes, Malay armies will see a comeback, and some examples that they gave with orcs, which are awesome. And I know, like, as far as Malay goes, my wolves have not been treated badly in 7th edition. You know, we got several power bumps up. However, despite the bump ups and power boosts we got with a few new codices, they still didn't keep us from not getting shut off the table by Eldar and Tau, right?
Yep, right.
And unless they're like, well, you could always Death Star and put in a conclave, but I'm not trying to intentionally cheese break the game by mixing codices from other armies to intentionally break the game, right?
That's actually a good point because that's another thing that they address is the Death Star.
Yes.
You know, because I mean, what Death Star is nothing but a loophole. I mean, that's basically all it is. You know, you can bump your stats off of an ally that's not even part of your faction, and say, oh well, my whole squad now is bumped up, and I'm going to destroy you. So you get the best of all worlds, and you've got this nasty thing coming down.
And since you're not rolling for powers now, you just know, like, I can almost guarantee I'm going to have invisibility now.
Yeah.
So that's going away by itself right there.
I think that the narrative Death Star is still going to exist.
Right.
Like, if you have a themed army that works a certain way, and you have a real strong squad for you, one of the main wolf characters, and teaming up with a couple of other ones, I think that's still going to be a viable option. But you're going to see the death of things that make no sense at all, like Taldar, which I think we can all agree is the worst thing ever. I remember seeing at LV, on the LVO top 16 list, a Eldar list with a Tau Riptide as an additional formation. I was just disgusted. I was like, how can you make this how can you make this narratively work? I'm sure there's some weird flexing you can do, but let's be real. You just wanted to field a Riptide wing with the Eldar CAD and be that guy. Right. And that's terrible.
I saw the same thing with a Canaptic Spider Wraith army and a Riptide wing in the back, and I was just like, that's just gross.
Yeah, it's and if a Death Star, if they can get rid of that kind of Death Star, I'm all for it. All for it.
And we'll see what they really come out. But from what I saw was that they're really going to try to stick as close to the factions as possible and natural allies.
Which brings us to our next point: command points.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about the command points thing because they're rewarding you for playing your army to the fluff or how that army should go instead of just saying, I'm just gonna play 19 wraiths. That's what I'm gonna do. Or I'm gonna play 7 squads of Terminators.
If you think about it, though, it's a good decision not just for the game, but for the business, for their business. Because by encouraging people to have well-rounded armies, you're encouraging people to buy from the whole range of miniatures.
Oh yeah, which is exactly I think why they've balanced codices, so that way every unit can kill something.
Yeah.
There's no bad units, supposedly.
Supposedly. We'll see how the Pyrovore does. We'll see how that little fella shakes out.
But they mentioned him specifically.
They mentioned him specifically. They said the Pyrovore will be good again.
By having no bad units, I mean, Jesus Christ, they must just have a warehouse full of witches somewhere, right?
A wither or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that don't see play, that probably haven't seen play, not just at 7th, but even before that might come back now just because it'll be fun, you can incorporate them into your war, and it's not going to be a detriment to your army because it's going to work with the command point system.
So let's talk about the command points. Because it was really cool. I didn't realize how it actually played into the game, but apparently if you play the formation, and from what I saw is that they're going to really beef up the amount of formations that you can play to make it really, really easy to be able to fall in one of those categories. And depending on that formation, that's how many command points that you will actually be awarded.
And I wonder if there's going to be taxes within those formations. I'm sure I'm thinking there's going to be kind of like what's it called, what they've got with Angels of Death, the Decurion system that they have now. Where, okay, you can have these badass bonuses, but you must take 6 squads of tacticals.
Right. I don't know. I'd be curious to see, what sandbagging they'll be doing on those kind of formations.
I think certainly you're going to see the era of free money for nothing. By that I mean, I think you're not going to see. I think you're going to see the battle company use the free transports you can get. I think you're going to see summoning. Age of Sigmar currently summoning points are incorporated into your total list, so you can't just summon unlimited stuff. You actually have to say, okay, I've got 250 points of summoning. What I'm going to do. Yes, I think that's because if you look at the past couple of competitive tournament events, I mean, it seems summoning. It's Magnus and his flying monkeys coming out going doo 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 doo.
I felt that way.
Demon Prince.
I felt that way when I was playing against Cloud's new demon list. I was just like, wait, you're just getting free AP3 for no points cost whatsoever? He's like, yeah. I'm summoning another one and another one. And I'm like, do you realize what kind of points we have to pay to get AP3? You're getting bodies and AP3 for free. So I'm glad there's not unlimited.
Yeah. So I mean that's actually going to be really good because you're awarded, which I think that's what GW wanted to do. They're pushing you towards playing one of these multiple formations that go along with your particular faction.
And I think you're going to see. I think allies are going to be good narratively. It seems like the command point system is really geared towards, especially if you look at some of the releases for like the Triumvirate of the Imperium release, for example, Codex Imperial Agents, you see a lot of stuff geared towards armies of the Imperium. So if you're playing Space Marine Force, you might want to field an Inquisitor with a detachment. You might want to field a Knight, and they're going to reward you not for just fielding, staying in your lane, but for expanding to cover, more of what you would see in a 40k battle depicted in the books, where it's a combined, multi-layered force.
Which is awesome.
Yes.
And so they mentioned one example that you might be able to use command points for as, which is another huge change, that they're getting rid of initiative, I'm sure you saw, and that usually whoever charges in first is going to be able to strike first. But you might be able to spend a command point.
Right, and actually...
to activate first.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That's actually totally different. So now, not only do you get the opportunity to assault first, that's like the very first thing you do in the phase, and then, but you get denied, right? Or rather, hey, you know, we're going to counter assault, which is pretty freaking sweet. So I think that's amazing, and that's going to definitely put a game changer, you know, especially in this whole assault phase thing, you know. So I'm kind of excited about that.
So I was watching the live chat from Wargamer Online, and they had a whole chat on what are some things that you'd like to see command points be able to do. By the way, shout out to Sam, Phil, and everyone else at Wargamer Online, and thanks for letting us be part of your discussions during those live chats. But they had some really cool ones that they were talking about, like being able to get rage and an extra swing by activating command point, or furious charge and an extra strength, you know, or even an extra weapon skill. You know, you charge in, and for a turn, you're better at using your weapon. I think some of these things would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the list of the possibilities. I mean, I'm sure because they've been so in touch with the community that the actual players that they've used to beta test these, hey, they say, hey, look, this is what we like, this is what we want to see. And matter of fact, this is why we're seeing the changes we're seeing now on their way, which makes it a little scary for those that don't like change much. But I'm telling you, it's everybody gets nervous with change, right? I mean, it's like I was watching Jay. You know, one of my I enjoy watching his YouTube, and he was excited, he was optimistic, but he was definitely not happy or thrilled that he had to lose all his codices, you know, all his books, or that he had to, you know, start all over. But again, the fact that this is a whole revamp of the system as it should be, you know, we'll see.
By the way, if you want to know some things that is good to keep your codex around for, go check out our Legion brother, Big Neck Danskull.
Yeah.
He had a whole episode on things that you can do, you know, or what good your old codices might still be to you. Such as, you know, if you just aren't going to you don't care about lore or fluff, but you like the pictures, you know, maybe cut them out, frame up some of those pictures, and have some badass artwork. Which I think I want to go online and just start buying up a bunch of Space Wolf codices just to
so you can cut them up.
That's pretty cool.
But that's a good idea, or just keeping them for the fluff, for the lore. That was just pictures and lore is what I'm going to be keeping mine for. And I actually already have been collecting some Space Wolf codices from before the current edition, because I came in at 7th.
Yeah.
But
I think there's going to be value to this as well. I mean, it's like, you know, like comic books. The longer you have them, you know, the more I think they'll be.
I can go to Half Price Books right now and score like...
I see them all the time at Half Price Books.
You know, $2 a piece, get you a codex.
Hey, you know, I don't know. It's going to be valuable to somebody. So
I honestly think they're going to need to hold. You're going to need to hold on to them if you are investing in more for it.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That's the big thing. And for me personally, I'm just. I'm not getting rid of my books. You know, I know everybody's like, oh, let's ditch everything, but I like my lore. You know, I want to have something. So when I'm ranting about 40K to my poor wife, and she's like, "What's going on?" I can take the book out and say, "Look," and then she can pepper spray me, and you know, it can be a whole thing. It's.
you know, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's not. I'm the same way. I'm going to hang on to my stuff. You know. Something that you can always reference to, right?
Plus, I mean, if there's something we don't like about 8, you know, as friends, we can still go back to play 7.
That's right, let's do 7.
Speaking also as a 30K player, 30K is still going towards 7.
Oh,
At least for the time being. Yeah, they're still going to operate off the 7th edition.
I do, when I can eventually afford some of those 30K specific units, I do want to.
Mr. I own Burning and Prospero, you do have 30K specific.
Well, I mean, I have the troops, but we all know the troops isn't where you're going to spend the most money.
Yeah, it's getting those crazy tanks and vehicles, Cestus Assault
and those
Rams.
are sexy.
Yeah, Forge World loves you. And speaking of Forge World, that's something that actually is a little bit obscured as far as Games Workshop's talk about 8th edition is how Forge World's going to play into it. They've said that they're going to release updated rules, but that's been about it. That's
Yep, and they said you'll be able to find them somewhere.
Yep. Considering there
What does
are
this mean, somewhere?
there's like 14 Imperial armor books.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm not getting rid of Grand Red Maw.
But they did say that the rules are going to be, perfectly interchangeable and accessible. But like you said, to your point, that was very clear.
I've seen some calls for Forge World to go ahead and do an FAQ about 8th edition on their Facebook page, their social media, saying go ahead and tell us what your plans are, and they've stayed quiet so far.
Yeah, the Forge World is kind of like, the Dark Angels of the whole GW world. They like to hold on to their secrets.
Yeah.
Although I did see that they're reselling almost all the Imperial armor books again at their original price, like, 50 pounds or whatever, which is awesome because up until a few months ago, Raz and I wanted to go half and half, or Darklight Dreamer, wanted to go half and half on Doom of Mimera, which has a bunch of awesome Eldar units and a bunch of awesome. Okay, it has Grand Red Maw for sure.
Right. There you go. There it is.
It has one for me and a whole codex for Raz, and I'm not sour. But that one unit I really wanted, so we were gonna go half and half, and they were like, "Yep, you can get a Doom Mimera, $150." Wait, what?
I still need to get the book that has the Dabmore stuff, so I can get the chapter tactics for Carper. I feel more comfortable about playing that against people if I had the book available, so I could say, I'm not making this up. Here you go.
But if they have the rules for free when they come out with 8, you may not need them.
It's true. But again, if Forge World would announce how this is going to work, then I would feel more comfortable about what I am and not going to buy.
I still want the Doom of Mimera so that way I can have Brand Red Maw's lore and all that good stuff.
Excellent.
So what else? What else do you think might have stuck out in the 8th edition?
Let's talk about armor and saves and such, because that is
gonna be a big
interesting.
one.
The weapon profiles, they announced they showed, I believe, a flamer, a bolter, and a las cannon.
And before we even get to weapons, the new weapon skill, ballistic skill. There's no more confusing charts. It just says your weapon skill, 3 up.
Yep, right.
Okay, so I just know I need a 3 up.
You don't need a
It's the same as before. But
periodical
you don't have to explain
tables.
to someone. Okay, well, no, you're trying to hit a target, like you're saying to a new player, you're trying to hit a target number of 7. Why 7? Because
that was me.
Because Siege
why
wants
me?
it.
Why do I have to take 7? Why?
well, because 7's the target number.
Why?
Because 7 is okay. It just says you need a total of 7.
Oh.
So, anyways, you're going to subtract your weapon skill from 7. But why 7?
And then
Look,
And
the
it's
sky
worse.
is just blue. Okay, you want to target 7.
because I said so. He tells me. Jerk.
So, same thing with weapon skill. It's just like trying to explain to someone, okay, so your weapon skill is better than his weapon skill, but it's not more than double, so you need 3s. But wait, why is that 3s? I'm trying to do the math. And no, there's a chart for it. Don't worry about it. No, but I mean, so what is this double thing? You're not there. Okay, you hit on 3s, he hits on 4s. But why? Oh God.
Just quit the game.
Look at this chart. Okay, just stop asking questions. Look at this chart. It
He's frustrated since I've done that to him ever since.
it is frustrating to try and understand when you're first doing it. You don't understand the charts, or even if you bought your first rule book, but you know you got to go back to the charts every time you want to hit something. I can understand where it's frustrating, but that takes a lot of time. And at our store, we play with a bunch of new people, so it's that. I mean, we over dramatized for the film here just now, but it is a similar conversation whenever we're teaching a new person how to film, or how to play. So
never
the
filmed before,
average
so we
game for us, it's like 1,500 points may last 7 hours. You know, which is 7 hours of fun, but it's just I like the perspective that some of these things are doing are big time savers.
Yeah.
Just taking out stuff that says go look through a massive book and find one chart.
Yep. Just roll. Just right there. 3 up. Okay.
Says it on right.
Takes the guesswork right out of it.
Also, character stat cards instead of having your whole book or codex.
War scrolls are another great thing that they're taking from AOS. I think it's great having the cards and just saying this is legit.
I'm playing out of 4 codices right now. I'm playing out of 4 of them. That's a lot of. I feel like
That's
I'm
a
paying
lot of
like,
literature.
plus the rule book. I'm toting around.
He looks like a librarian when he comes and brings his stuff. I got my stuff. I'm like, oh God, you have
I've
homework?
got a master's in space beef.
It's scary. I mean,
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I'm going to call University of Phoenix to see what they think.
Dr. Silvermoon here.
So that's really exciting. So okay, so kind of explain what you guys found out on the ballistic skill and all that stuff. Now apparently they just have, they have it written out.
Yeah, right there on their stat card.
We're done with Thaco.
Yep.
Oh my God, Thaco. If you guys have ever played Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition, then you guys remember what a freaking you had to have a graphing calculator to figure out Thaco.
This is the kind of thing that I think gamers need to remember, that it used to be in tabletop gaming that it was ruled by obscure math.
Right.
And weird charts and random number generation, and all these things take away from the tactical feel for the game. Like, the whole point of you playing this is a strategic war game, and when you're having to resort to graphs and math, you can't just focus on how do I counter them coming into this valley? How do I stop them from taking this objective?
Right.
And
can you imagine somebody talking to George Washington? God, I didn't mean to George Washington. I am so sorry for our British friends. Any other legendary hero in history? Caesar.
Sun Tzu. Caesar. There you go.
Genghis Khan. Oh, Genghis Khan was a bad person. I'm not making this any better.
Okay, Genghis Khan instituted a meritocracy. He said that you could rise as far as you were good at something.
Leonidas. So, let's go with
Leonidas. I
okay,
think is fair.
So you think anybody ever told Leonidas while he's mapping out, okay, if we just hold this valley, this one valley, okay, then we can protect the rest of the land for an indeterminate amount of time. No problem. Okay, so what we're going to do is, but my lord, what about Thaco?
We've got to. Can our spearmen hit 7s?
But how did you get to 7, my lord?
Honestly, okay, I had just started playing. It was early April. Early April last year is when I actually started. I'm sorry, August. My bad.
Yes.
It was August. Yeah, early August. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, even with the limited amount of time that I've had, because of work and all, I have spent the majority of my time in the entire hobby either painting, hobbying, and learning the rules, and a fraction of it actually playing it. Because even when I was playing, I was still in the middle of trying to learn the rules, because there was so much more that I need to learn. So every game that I was playing, it's like, oh gosh, I did not know that, and there was just more stuff thrown on me. And now, someone with ADHD, not good with being overwhelmed with all kinds of stats
and part of it is our problem with frequency, because it would be like 6 weeks between games.
Yeah.
However, a game shouldn't be like that, right? The game shouldn't have to be a use it or lose it skill.
Right. So now I'm really, really, really excited.
I mentioned games being a use it or lose it skill, and just remind me when I went back and tried to play Mario 3. It's just not pretty. Anyways.
So I am really excited about it. Even though got to start over. Hey, I'm all about it. Because again, it puts me in the same playing field as the one who's been playing for.
I said that to him when he was feeling kind of bummed. I'm like, look at it this way, okay? When you play against people who aren't your friend at the shop, sometimes you get your butt handed to you. But these are guys who have been around for all the build-up of the strategies. I mean, you come in and they already know. Well, I'm a Riptide wing this, and I'm gonna rock these D weapons over here, and I've got this strategy over here, and these units go with these units, and this one, if you put these 7 units together against this buff, you're starting off on a level playing field with everybody else, and we're all going to figure out the strategies together.
On top of that, you'll have easy access to everybody else's rules, and that's a huge deal. It's a very not accepted, I guess, but a very real strategy used in 7th edition is fielding units and formations that are obscure and you have no familiarity with. So you have your average player has no way of knowing how to counter it because they've never seen it before.
Which is a huge paradigm shift, having access to everyone's rules. Going from the previous paradigm of every codex is $50 and I don't necessarily want to go research someone else's army. Hell, I'm going to try and make it for as long as I can without getting my own codex and look at a PDF online.
Right.
Which I'm not saying I did, GW, and I don't encourage that, but I have seen people do it.
Don't do it.
Don't
do it.
You will get caught.
You won't.
Gonna find you. Wait.
But you know, it is a strange paradigm to go from that secretive, like you can't even take the plastic off this codex until you've paid $50, to boom, it's free.
Right.
Boom, magic.
Right. I like it. And from what I understand, even the actual codices that you'll be able to get, because they are going to be so much less. Yeah. Which, again, big hat tip to GW for doing that, because it's going to really take the sting out of the actual cost, you know. And I am looking forward to it.
Also, big kudos to G-Dubs for going for both.
Yep.
Because they could have just said, yeah, we're going to do 100% electronic, but there are tons of guys in the hobby like us who want to collect everything.
I need the hard, exactly. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to get the whole set, you know. Because from what they were saying in the Q&A, that they're going to have the actual...
I'm going to get your whole set.
Ooh!
Capture.
Just got R-rated people.
we miss each other. We haven't seen each other. And so they're going to have the actual the hard copies along with the supplementals in one kit, if you will. Which you know, it sounds amazing because you have your base rules and then you've got the supplements that go with it. So I think that's going to be a big hit right there. But even they say that just with what they'll have out, you can go already start your own tournament.
Yeah,
you can actually run live. So, man, they really thought into it. The only thing that I'm not crazy about is when.
So there's some theory on that. Some people are saying June because G-Dubs' fiscal year starts in June. Some people say mid-May because despite them encouraging everyone to continue buying stuff, there's so many people. I mean, I'm sure business has really trickled comparatively. As soon as they announce new edition, you know, a lot of people put their wallets back in their pocket, right? Like, oh, I better hold off on what I'm gonna buy to see, you know, see how the rules are gonna go.
Yeah.
You know, well, why get this unit? I may not need this unit. Like, I'm glad I haven't invested in the 3 psychers I was going to use for the 3 biker conclave.
Right, the library conclave, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, you know, now biker conclave isn't going to be a thing. So that would have been wasting money. And now I've already taken that announcement and saved myself some money.
Right. Now, here's the thing. They did say that, now I just lost my train of thought. Like, it's not...
I'm going to jump in here real quick. There's a little bit more evidence weighing still towards June. We're lucky here in Houston that we actually have physical Games Workshop store locations, and there is a block of days in June that Games Workshop employees can't take vacation, and are not allowed to be off.
That's what I was.
And there's a little bit. That's a little bit, I think, weighing it towards June.
Well, that's what I was going to say before I drew a blank. Now, in that Q&A, they did say that they're having all of their stores pull all the codices. They're pulling them all. And even some of the non-GW stores. So if they're doing that, then it's going to be around the corner. It's got to be, my estimate, within a month or so, probably less. So yeah, it sounds So I mean, if they're already pulling all the codices off the shelf and they're not selling them anymore, then I imagine it's just around the corner.
Oh, another spot I saved myself too much. I almost got the Imperial Armor Apocalypse book, so I could finally take that Space Wolf Dread that they just came out with. Now I'm not sure I'm going to be able to use a Space Wolf Contemptor Dread, but
Still cool to have.
it's still cool. Yeah,
30K.
Yeah, it's still.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it still looks awesome.
It does look awesome.
I don't know. So what else? Is there anything else that there's on top?
I think one thing we need to do, one more thing we need to do at least, is we've had a lot of kudos and glad handing of GW. I think we need to hate on them a little bit.
Let's do it. I'm all about
Let me
that.
go ahead and. Oh, sorry.
Everybody was ready.
Yep.
I thought this was going to be difficult. Everybody's like,
Nope.
let me get started.
Nope.
Okay, so I told you my big excitement was they said that Malay armies will be viable again. Because y'all know what you did and you're wrong. Anyways, so they say they're going to balance the Malay armies in there, and of course everybody will be viable. However, one thing they're taking away from us with their new movement is they are taking away being able to tie up some bitches in combat. You're going to have to figure that
Falling
out.
back.
So there's the new falling back rule, and when they're falling back, of course, they can't be tied up in combat, right? Which means they're just going to be able to run their happy Tau asses out. You're going to believe that too. They're going to run their happy Tau butts out, and they're just going to turn around and fire at me again.
Right.
And I'm not going to be able to be tied up in combat, so I can't be shot at. So now I'm still here, and now I'm off the table again. And Tau's going to be able to freaking one-shot me again. So I wish I could assuage your concern, but yeah, that's right now from what we know, that's looking like a very real possibility. So I want you to tell me, G-Dubs, tell me how our Malay armies are not going to be first turn, you're playing at half the point value of any shooting army. Tell me how Necrons aren't going to destroy us turn one, or Tau's not going to destroy us turn one. Because, okay, maybe Eldar and Tau, they got to get a little closer. But with Tau, I'm so sick of starting the game at 1,800 points, and then before I even can take my first movement phase, I am playing at half the points of the other team, and I was in cover, I was out of line of sight in some cases, because Tau don't care about that.
Nope. Oh, you got cover? Who cares? We see you anyway.
So, yeah, tell me how my Malay army is going to be viable, G-Dubs. I want to know. And the answer used to be, well, you can break the game and go invisible. But that's only 50-50 if you won the roll-off and you're going first. Okay, so I have to be alive to cast invisibility to make sure that I'm alive through Tau shooting phase. So tell me how my Malay is going to be viable. And I don't want to be broken Death Star viable. I just want a fair, this is an even match game. That's what I'm looking for.
That is true passion, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry if I got a little...
That's okay. I appreciate the emotion. Freak, what about you? What you got? What beef do you have with GW?
It's all about the Benjamins, man. It's all
truth.
about the Benjamins.
Cash money rules everything around us.
Exactly right. It makes the world go round. And like I said, most of you guys that have shed a lot of cash on books and tactics and all this stuff, it's all going all out the toilet. Now, yeah, you get to keep all your models. All the models are going to be viable. Every model will still, be, viable to the game. But everything that you repurchased is going to be completely obsolete. Okay, that was the only thing that I really felt that being a new player still, I'm still learning. I really couldn't get into the tactics as much, and I'm getting into the lore more, but I haven't gotten to that phase where I felt like you've got all these tactics, especially Tau. I totally agree. Unless they physically nerf Tau and bring him down from this crazy OP pedestal that had been placed on, it's going to be a large pill to swallow, when you're going toe-to-toe, especially on a one-on-one basis, because it's just not matched.
Now,
I get that.
One nerf that's already happened is with the Eldar, D weapons are gone. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, Dark Light. But D weapons are gone.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Yeah, we're sorry. We're real sorry.
So my beef is still primarily a monetary one, I mean, again, you get excited, because I just remember my very first rule book, my first codex, you know, and I was like so excited. You get to peel off that cellophane. You're like, yeah, $50, you know, and then you realize that's $50 of just baseless paper, and I'm never going to get it back. So, with that said, it's one of those things where like, okay, you know what? What do you do? I got two options, right? Everybody has two options. You either just say, the hell with it, screw this game, I'll go play D&D or play Star Wars or some other type of tabletop game, right? Age of Sigmar, right? Because that seems to be happening. Or just say, you know what? Lump it, right? Bite the bullet. Just go in there. Because it's been done before. This isn't the first edition. This is 8th edition for a reason. So that's the logic that I'm using. You know what? Okay. It's the world goes round all over again. Bite the bullet and get in on the ground floor on a really awesome game, because Warhammer, the Warhammer universe is amazing. I don't care who you are. It is badass to the core. It's got everything you can imagine, and really, it does, you know, does stuff for your imagination. But it's just a great game.
It really is.
And, you know, now all of us can get on the ground floor on this awesome new system, and man, that's what I'm excited about. So yeah, I'm a little salty about the money part, but again, that other side is I'm pretty excited about it. So what about you, Will?
My saltiness is actually kind of minor. So they're pretty. I don't think it's confirmed yet, but I'm pretty sure that the 8th edition like initial conflict set is going to be between the Imperium and Nurgle. Plague Marines are probably going to be released concurrently with 8th edition.
Death Guard's looking good.
Death Guard Mortarion might see his release along with 8th edition. Imperial versus Chaos, man. I mean, that's how you guys are not. I'd like to see something else. What about the instead of Space Marines versus Chaos Space Marines? What about Guard versus Genestealer Cult?
Right.
I know. I'm just concerned that they just released all these new factions like Siege, Genestealer Cult. They've done all these new upgrades. But when we come to the core set, we got to go to that core conflict of Space Marines versus Chaos Space Marines. And I don't think that showcases enough of the unique flavor that 40K has to offer.
Right, and I think that's what they're trying to do now in this 8th edition, because it almost seems like they're trying to get it back to congruency with the universe, because again, the lore, the universe is, yes, the long-ass conflict between Chaos and, you know, the Imperium, right?
Yeah, and there's, while the big stuff is going on with the Space Marines and Chaos, there's the other things you mentioned, like there's Genestealer Cults popping up on Terra, right? They're talking about that in Gathering Storm. They're talking about the biggest Tyranid fleet, you know, seen in generations, headed towards Earth, right? So, I mean, I think some of these other conflicts are brewing. I think it's just not going to be the launch release.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand why they're doing it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, why do they have to go to the core conflict that the game is built around for a new release? I understand that. I just feel like, I don't know. It's just me being nitpicky and nerdy about the lore. I
think it's just a reset, if you will, and it's just bringing everybody to the original focal point. Because, like Nithu says, I think they're all of them are still viable. They're still part of the universe. They're still part of the story. But it's bringing back the original. Okay, well, this is what it was all about to begin with. So how do we solve the actual problem?
And I kind of like that. Not only because I play Space Marines, you know, or Wolves, you know, as part of the Marine faction, but I also like it from the standpoint, like, when you get a new Nintendo game, you expect to see some Mario, right?
Fair point. Fair point. I didn't, but, you know, I can understand people that did. I just always went off the beaten path with it. And just,
you never started with the Mario game?
I started with, like, the first NES game I owned was Final Fantasy. That's it.
That's fair. I mean, you dropped Final Fantasy.
Yeah, Mario's great and all, but give me Final Fantasy and Star Tropics, and I can't help it. I always go off the beaten path, but I can understand why. Like I said, I can understand why they're going back to the Spaceman vs. Chaos Space Marines for the core conflict.
I suppose nowadays it's Zelda, because Breath of the Wild is so big.
Oh, yeah.
We got a new system, guys. We have to put out a new Zelda.
Every time.
They're starting to get tired of Mario, but they will always fangirl over Zelda.
It's the truth.
So, what else?
I think we hit all the major points. We covered movement.
So,
the fact that they've combined run into the movement phase.
Right.
Some people make a big deal about that, but I mean, most of the time when you're playing with friends, they're like, I'm just going to go ahead and move this guy because he's going to run during the move phase anyways, or the shoot phase anyways.
I think once they have the rules out and we'll learn more and more about the game as time progresses, I think we'll get more of an appreciation of not what GW is doing, but what the community has actually helped build, because that's what this is all about. Because remember, look, 7th edition has been an absolute nightmare. You carrying several books, you look like a crazy librarian, right? Crazy. Go ahead. Okay. And so you got all these things, and for what? I mean, how often do you actually read all of those books and stats and numbers and figures and besides
and Ethan, every time I get a new codex, Ethan's like, "Ooh, can I see that?"
Yep.
And he'll just spend one game night.
Just sponge it. Yep.
And I'm like, "Wait, you got through all of that in one game night?" He's like, "Yep."
Yeah, but and there's people that do that, and that's awesome.
I'm a slow reader.
Oh, I am too. I am like, you gotta know, got on tape or CD, audiobook.
That would be cool to get a codex and audio.
Dude, that would actually not be a bad idea.
G-dubs.
Amazing. Write it down.
Yep.
Write it down.
Now, one more thing I'm really excited about is that they said with the streamlining, playtesting shows that their time sync is not going to be what it was before. So they were saying that they were looking at an average 1,500-point game being 2.5 hours, and streamlining that down to now a 1,500-point game to 90 minutes.
Yeah. That's a huge. That means you're spending less time trying to figure out your rules and your stats, and more time actually playing the damn game.
Right. I mean,
we all want to do.
We'll be able to finish battle reports for this.
Right. Sorry, guys. We just ended at the bottom of turn 3. We are getting kicked out again.
3 o'clock in the morning.
3 in the morning, and the owner hates us right now. So that's been our story. So
we can finish battle reports. I'm so excited, and also being able to finish a game in an hour and a half, 2 hours. I mean, people who have very limited time, yourself, you're going to benefit a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
We might be able to get Darklight back to the store.
Dude, that would be awesome. I miss him here, so get him.
Yeah.
Not only that, people that have a short attention span like me, also can benefit from this because, hey, they Bert and Ernie it. Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street? Yeah. They Bert and Ernie everything, and the stats, when I looked at them, I was like, oh my, wait a minute. I don't have to get a calculator and a ruler and the periodical chart to try to figure out how to get my roll in order to be able to hit that other unit. I'm good. I will do that. So it's pretty exciting. But hey, who knows? I can't wait for it to come out, and hopefully it comes out fairly sooner than later.
Now I'm going to counter that one positive with one last questionable.
Bring it.
My other concern is that they've done all this playtesting at like Adepticon and some YouTubers, and if you're playtesting with the top 10% of the community, right? I have this big thing, not just in Warhammer, but video game meta does this all the time.
Right.
Well, they'll do all their playtests with the top 10%. Right? A lot of times those lessons learned do not translate to the average gamer. Right, so you have a bunch of us derping around on Overwatch.
That's a good point.
Because they're trying to base the entire game around the top 10%.
Right.
League of Legends is a horrible example of that. League of Legends, they want to base the entire game off what the top 10% are doing because they have these worldwide tournaments, in Korea and stuff like that.
And then the learning curve is just ridiculous.
Exactly.
maddening to them. But
I
get that.
think the one answer for that is you got to keep in mind that there are going to be 3 modes of play, and that's open, narrative, and tournament.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
And so if something doesn't necessarily work out in tournament play, for one thing, it can be updated because that's going to be
Right.
part of the whole.
Right.
We're releasing it and keeping it.
They did
live.
say they were going to keep it. Yeah.
But also, you know, if you don't play in a tournament or a competitive scene, you can just play narratively and say, this is what I'm bringing. And you know what your friend's bringing, and you can play a balanced game based on what you and your community has.
Oh yeah, so with matching up what you and your opponent are bringing, there's a couple modes to play like that. And in one of the modes, you don't even have, because they say that they understand, sometimes just building out your list takes hours.
Right. Right.
So they said that now they're not going to, for one of the modes, it's super nitty gritty point value like it is now. But there's also the other one where it's just goes by the units, and they're not counting the nitty gritty points. Like, did you take melted bombs?
Right.
Did you take plasma pistol, grab pistol? You know, it's just what are your units? Put them on the table. You know, it is what you say it is, or you know, WYSIWYG or whatever.
Right.
And it's just pay by the unit, not pay by the each nickel and dime cost.
Right.
And I think that's gonna be cool.
I agree.
I mean, you know, you're gonna get some. I mean, it's possible that you get, and of course we haven't seen the unit charts and org charts yet, but it's possible you might get, you know, your friend who you play against. I'm taking a veteran squad, and it's 1 sergeant and 9 guys with grab. Mother.
Not good.
We ain't playing.
No bueno. I'm quit. Yeah.
Guys, don't play with Bob in the corner.
Screw him. Yeah. We're gonna beat him with a shovel later. But yeah, so again, you can understand, and I'm sure you guys have fielded the same frustrations and excitement, because it's kind of a, you know, it's twofold, right? You know, a little nervousness, a little anxiety, of course, right? But hopefully GW, which I think, and based on what I've been seeing what the CEO has been doing here, he's doing a lot to reach out to the community and listen. And apparently that has not happened prior to him, you know, to especially with his predecessors, and that's why they were losing gamers, they were losing players like crazy,
losing money.
Yeah, serious. So I mean, it's really nice to see, you know, that they're reaching out to the community, they're reaching out, you know, to people like us, and they are listening. To your point. They are still taking suggestions, questions on their forums, and they're compiling all that, and they're putting this all. They're still applying it to the, you know, to the game and future updates as well.
Everybody should go to their forums right now and ask about squats. I've already done it 5 times.
Hey, flood them, spam them.
Let them know.
Oh, and
shut it down.
You also do me a favor. Do that with sisters too.
Yes.
Just because
squats and sisters.
Sisters.
I really want
Shorts and shorties.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a movie. Great.
Now we get to play the game porn or not porn. All right. So give me credit where it's due before we close out. We did do some of our own legwork. You know, I did watch the Facebook, you know, Q&A. I know Shroud hit up his man in Tallahassee and hit up the Q&A that they published a while back. And of course, we also saw some of the notes from Adepticon. But additionally, some of our YouTube friends were part of our research, like, you know, Steve from Who Took My Dice. I watched his thoughts on it. Fire Breathing Duck. Of course, Wargamer Online was a huge resource because they put out almost every day. They did a live chat about the new information.
Yep. Jay with Jay Did Productions.
Jay Did Productions, also known as Mini Wargamer Jay.
Yep.
So there's a lot of good sources out there already available, and these are just kind of our thoughts on them. So we did use some of our fellow YouTubers as research. credit will be where it's due, down in the description below. Go check out those other guys if you haven't heard some of the information from their mouths too, because they did a great job breaking it down.
Yeah, form your own opinion. I mean, yeah, we're not here to sway you one way or another.
I am totally here to tell you, G-Dubs, I'm talking to you.
Listen to me.
Okay,
Listen
get these
to
Malay
us.
guys, make it right.
Fix
okay?
it.
This
Make
is
it
gonna
right.
get ugly. Yeah.
You know what you did. You're wrong for it. Y'all need Jesus. I'm sure.
And on that note,
Shroud, we don't have you on the show often enough, dudes. Thank you so much.
yeah,
for
man. dude,
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate
I
it.
really love having you here,
Yeah,
man.
I like-
so
I
we're
like
gonna do
doing
this
this
more
with you.
often, guys. Oh, by the way, I want to hear from you guys, right? If you want to see more of this cat on our
Please
show,
say something.
put it in the comments below, man. Let us know. Give a big shout out to the man Shroud. Just say, Shroud, we love you. And you're going to see a lot more of him because we definitely like him here. So you just got to bring him away from work and stuff. And you know, I think he works more than I do.
I work a lot. I'm out there
beast.
slamming away, trying to beg so I can pick up the white dwarf for his power. That's all I need.
And he's also trying to get to Mini Wargaming.
Hopefully, I don't know if it's going to be this year, but maybe early next year I'm going to shoot for it. My wife gave the go-ahead, which was a key point, because, yeah. But it's actually a fairly cheap ticket as far as the plane goes. So,
we'll talk about that.
well, so I'm looking forward to trying to get up there, represent the Frost and Fist channel, bring my 40K, bring my 30K, hopefully my Age of Sigmar will be done by then, and get some gaming done in the name of the Frost and Fist channel. So
That'll
That's
be
really
so
good.
awesome.
And you know what? We couldn't ask anybody to represent us any better.
Guys, if you liked this episode, then grab up an axe and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. And of course, we've already asked you a million times, drop us some comments down below letting us know your thoughts on the upcoming 8th edition. And if you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel,
Come on. Do it.
really,
the Freakazoid, the Lore Master Shroud, and you know your Wolf Brother would all love to have you as part of the pack here on the Frost and Fist. Until next time, guys.
stay frosty.
Frosty.